Let's write a program to check if a number can be expressed as sum of two prime numbers. Okay, so the way I will approach this problem will be, in the main function I will first prompt the user to enter a number, to input a number. For example, let's say the user inputs a number 7. Okay, so 7 can be expressed as the sum of two prime numbers, which is 2 and 5. So 2 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number as well, right? So then I will write a for loop which will iterate from 2 to n by 2. So 2 to 7 by 2. It will iterate from 2 to 7 by 2, and in every iteration it will first check if, so I'll write a function called is prime. Okay, so what will this is prime function do is it will check whether the iteration in the main function, the given ith iteration, is a prime number or not. So in the main function, so there will be a for loop. In that for loop, now I'm checking if is prime of I, so that function will be called with I being the passing parameter. So the first iteration is 2, right? So I will check if 2 is a prime number. So 2 is a prime number. Then I'll go to another if condition which will check, this is the important part of this program. So then it will go to n if n minus I is also a prime number. N is 7, I is 2. So 7 minus 2, 5. 5 is also a prime number. So we will check if I is a prime number, then if n minus I is a prime number. So if both conditions satisfy, then we will print yes, it can be expressed as a sum of two prime numbers. Else we will print no, it cannot be expressed as sum of two prime numbers. Let's get into the program. Hash include stdio.h. First I'll write the function check prime. So while going through the problem, I said is prime, so I'll just change it to check prime int n. Okay, here I will declare int is prime is equal to 1 if n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 1. Printf or let's just not print anything. We have to change the value of is prime. Okay, so is prime will become 0. So is prime is 1, now is prime is 0. So we will return from this function, we will return the value of either 1 or 0. If it is a prime number, it will return 1. If it is not a prime number, it will return 0. So 0 and 1 are not prime numbers, so it will return 0. Else for int I is equal to 2, I less than or equal to n by 2, I plus plus, if n mod I is equal to 0, then is prime will be equal to 0 and break. Then we will return is prime. Now I'll get into the main function int main. First I will declare a variable and initialize it. Oh no, I'll just declare it. Print int say num. Okay, printf enter the number scanf %d ampersand num. Now I will run a for loop, or before that, if num is equal to 0 or num is equal to 1, we will print no and return 0. So the objective of the program is to simply say yes or no if a number can be expressed as a sum of two prime numbers, either yes or no. Else for int I is equal to 2, I less than or equal to num by 2, I plus plus, if check prime of I is equal to 1, and then if check prime of n minus I is also equal to 1, printf yes, return 0, or else printf no and return 0. So this should do it. Now let me save and run the code. Okay, here it's num because the variable that we have declared is num. So I'll save and run. Okay. So enter a number. I will enter 7, and yes, it can be represented as sum of two prime numbers. Let me run the code again. Now I will input 5. So 5 can be represented as 2 and 3. So my expected output is yes. So we have a working code. Let me also test for, let's say, 11. 11 cannot be expressed as sum of two prime numbers. Okay. Now let me test the case for 0 and 1. So if it's 0, then no, and let me try 1 and no. So the code works.